guys, it's Kate. Welcome to Covert Narcissist 101. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for subscribing. And you haven't subscribed, please do. Don't forget to hit the bell and so you know when I upload more videos. Guys, today we're going to talk about when the narcissist has primary custody of the children. So when the narcissists have the primary custody of the children, when the kids live with the narcissist. This is a very crazy situation because the court system don't know what the heck this is. So so many things affect where the children end up staying. Maybe the ages of the children, money issue, who is the primary caregiver, why, the relationship, you guys were still in the relationship. So all that come into play. Nobody's over there talking about, who is the narcissist or who is not. So they don't know that, is not recognized. So that's the frustrating thing about it. So when the narcissist, the kids live with the narcissist, there's so many things obviously you're going to expect to be happening, unfortunately. Is one of them is at least to make, hopefully there is a new supply, because if there's a new supply, it means that the children are not in direct line of the narcissist when they start needing the supply and trying to get it from somebody, hopefully the new supply is there where they focus on the new supply so that the children are not directly in line for them to come and be the emotional dumpster for the narcissist. Because unfortunately that is, with you out of the way, that is exactly what's going to happen, because they look at your kids, with them as an extension of you. So we pray that a new supply, as crazy as it sounds, I know that the new supply is a buffer, really, so that your kids are not in direct, hit from the narcissist. So you be expecting them to take the frustration out on you, if they have they're frustrated with the new supply, and somehow you have visitation time that weekend. Yeah, they might get pissed off and withhold the children and don't release the children, or even don't let the children call you, because they had to take it out on somebody, and it will be you, So obviously you're gonna expect a whole bunch of violations of the divorce decree or custody arrangement, and you expect obviously to have requiring to have some kind of appearance in court, to have this, because they will be doing everything they can to annoy you, because the kids, the target is you, their collateral damage. And like I said, whatever it is that happens over there, they feel with the kids with them most of the time, so they feel they have the upper hand here, because they get to now control when the kids go over there and when they to visit you, when you can call them and not call them, because they are most of the time with them. But what you have to remember here is once a narcissist deviate from the court order or the enforcement, there isn't no point in trying to have any kind of dialogue, because they're not going to have any dialogue with you, because you have to be aware that they intentionally violate this court's order. They intentionally violate the divorce decree. They know what they're supposed to do. They know that the Thursday to Fridays, is your time, or whatever, this weekend is your time, but yet they still find somehow to stop the kids from going, stop the kids from reaching out to you, stop you from reaching out to the kids. They are fully aware of what they're doing. So if you're trying to have some kind of this is my weekend, no, they are fully aware of that. It's all intentional. It's all intentional, because the target, like I said, depending on what is going on over there, they need supply, they need to get at you for leaving, or get at you for moving on after they dumped you. It doesn't even matter. You are the target, the kids are collateral damage. So for whatever reason, they will try to, when they deviate intentionally. There's no point in trying to point it out. But what you have to make sure that you're doing is, when you have your visitation time, that you are not, you are pretty much following the order, that you're not taking the time that is not yours and all that stuff, because this is going to be very important later when you have to go to court. Now, anytime they deviate, like I said, there's no point in having any dialogue. They know. I mean, you obviously have to make a note of this. written notification of this, there's no point in having any verbal kind of ammunition with these people, because if it's not written down, it didn't happen, unfortunately. So you have to have file an enforcement with the court, and hopefully, I mean, they do have the online thing where this is cheaper and you can do it yourself, but you have to file, even if you have to file this numerous times. I have to file for the same thing, enforcement, for the same issue 3 times. And I said do it every time they violate this, to tell them one thing, that you are not kidding about this, and as well as let the court know, because that's the only way the court know they're deviating from this. That's the only way the court will know that they're deviating, if that you appear in court for the same issue over and over again. I had to do this 3 times for the same issue, and I guess best believe the last time the judge was like, told the narcissist, you don't need to come up here for me to tell you to do this again. That's pretty much what he said. You don't need to come up here again for me to tell you to do this. So don't go into verbal exchange with the narcissist. They're fully aware that they're deviating from the court, or that they know what they're doing. So all you know to do is notify, and then file for enforcement. Like I said, now I believe you can do it online. I think every state will be able to do it online, and it's cheaper, so you don't have to go through the lawyers. But if you're already doing with the lawyers, then you do that. But the point is, you have to show up, file for enforcement all the time that they deviate from this, so that way they get the message that you are not playing around, and the court at the same time are fully aware of them deviating from this every now and then. And of course, you go ahead and while you're doing enforcement and this keeps going on, you can request for adjustment of a custody adjustment, custody arrangement, request for adjustment for that, because obviously when the court sees that they are not trying to co-parent with you, especially if you have been consistent with your visitation schedule, you are not deviating from that, you're on time, and the drop off and everything is is on point, then you can file for adjustment, because that way they see the record that you're here every time for the same thing, which the case are not being released to you or allowed to call you, but your own end, you are keeping, you're doing what you're supposed to do. They'll see that this person doesn't want to cooperate with you. Like I said, they don't know anything about court. Is not talking about narcissists or who is not narcissist, but what they know is facts. The only way they see facts is the documentation that you file when you are trying to enforce whatever they're deviating from. Unfortunately, this is exactly what's going to happen. Like I've been in court 3 times for one thing, the same thing. 3 times. Like I said, the 3rd time, the judge was like, "You don't need to come up here." Told the narcissist, "You don't need to come up here for me to tell you to do this again." 3 times. So you have to take these people so that they understand that you are not kidding about this, and at the same time let the court know, because having any kind of verbal communication with them about they know what you're doing. They are intent. Maybe the new supply pissed them off that day, then they take it out on you and the children, or something is going on over there. It doesn't matter. They take it out on you. They just, for no reason, keep the children from talking to you, keep you from reaching to their kids, and keep you from picking up the kids. But if an enforcement is filed and keep doing this, it's the same thing over and over again, even if they don't show up to court back to back, because that's another thing that they might do, is that they won't show up when they're called upon. Eventually they will have to, the judge has to give judgment in their absence, if they do this more than once. So the narcissist definitely knows, especially when it's hard when their kids are living with them, because they seem to have the upper hand now. They know that you want to talk to the children. They know that you want to, unlike them, you really want to have a genuine relationship with your children. So first of all, they don't want that. So they will use that as a weapon, sad but true, to see if to control you. They will try to use that to control you, control your moods, control how you act. So, but every time, like I said, this happens, is to file an enforcement with this, especially if there's a written order in place, divorce decree, custody arrangement, that is already ordered, which is why if you don't have this needs to happen. You have to have some kind of ordered custody arrangement, because if not, they will do whatever. I mean, they're doing it even with the court order. That's happening. People think they're above the law. So if there's only an existing order for this is even worse. It's unfortunate. The court system don't know this is, but we are living it. We're dealing with it. There's people like this. You can't run in there to yell, "This is a narcissist over here that I'm co-parenting with." No, you don't have any right to diagnose anybody. They'll start looking at you crazy, So, but you do what you do because you do what the court understands, which is facts, and that's all you can do, guys. Unfortunately. All right, get the hold of your mind. Get the hold of your mind, and everything else will fall into place. Take care.